What are 8 great points to consider when you're looking at getting a parrot for the first time or adding one to your flock? Hey guys, I'm Kaylin, the author of The Parrot Bliss Bond, a couple other books all on Amazon. If you want to see the books, check the links down below. I'm currently working on the perfect apartment parrot book, and that's what's got me thinking about some of those crucial points to look at and consider when you're getting a parrot, so that you increase your blissful bond and help me complete my mission by decreasing the need for rehoming or rescues. This is River. She is a green cheek conure who was surrendered to us. She is a sweet little gem. And in the video, we're going to show you a couple other videos, or a couple other birds as we talk about those 8 points. Number 1, noise level. If you're in an apartment, you probably need a quieter bird. Make sure that you inquire first and foremost about the noise level of a bird. Generally speaking, the larger the parrot, the squawkier and louder they can be. I can hear some of my parrots around the block. Like if I go for a walk and I go to the other side of my block, sometimes I can still hear them. So some birds, some parrots can be really loud, and it's important to know so that you're sure that that sound level is going to work in your space, in your home, not be hard on you or your neighbors. Number 2, diet. With some parrots, diet is kind of easy and basic, although all parrots require some fresh vegetables and maybe some beta carotene fruit. That means that you need to always have something on hand for your parrot. While it's not like absolutely necessary if you're giving them pellets, and you can give them the pellets, and then depending on the parrot, they might also need some other seeds or nuts, but those vegetables give them the micronutrients. It's also a nice variety for them. So make sure that you understand that having a parrot does mean that you're going to have some fresh foods on hand. Also, check to see what kind of diet the parrot you are looking at getting needs, because with some parrots you're going to have to buy nuts, and that can get a little expensive. Some parrots require around 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 cup per day, depending on the size of the parrot, and it can really add up. Number 3, the petting factor. We tend to think of getting a pet, like a dog or a cat, as an animal that we're going to get to love on. But that's not always true with parrots. There are some parrots that are going to be all beak. There are some parrots that are going to want to get petted, and there are some parrots that aren't. So make sure that the species you're looking at matches what you want to experience, the lifestyle that you want to have. If you want a lifestyle where you have a parrot that's with you, that wants to be with you a lot, something like a conure might be good. If you want a parrot that's more independent, so that you don't have to be petting them all the time or have them with you or on you all the time, you might want something like an Indian ringneck that is more independent. So there is some variety within parrots, and it's important to understand what you're getting so that you don't get, for example, an eclectus who doesn't want to be pet, which would be very likely. Number 4, some parrots are one-person parrot. That means that they will pick one person, like my Amazon is like this, and she will not bond with anyone else. On occasion, in maybe once every 2 years, she will let someone else pick her up, but it's rare. I'm her one person. She's very cuddly and affectionate with me, but with no one else. A one-person bird can also be aggressive with other people. If you have young children, or let's say there's just you and your partner at home, then you might not want a one-person bird who likes either you or your partner and then tries to attack the other person. That wouldn't be fun. So that's a really important thing to know going in, to make sure that you get the right bird that isn't going to attack some family members. Or if you are living alone and you don't think that's going to change, then a one-person bird might be the affectionate, best feathered friend. Someone described it so well. It's like a best friend, like a child, all in one. And so if you are in that kind of situation, that might be just exactly what you're after. So it's important to know. Number 5, the biting factor. Some parrots, like my Linneys or my Cape parrots, they just don't seem to be very bitey parrots. On the other hand, some parrots, like green-cheeked conures, she's disappearing because she's embarrassed, aren't you? Oh yeah, there you are in the camera, so close up. Yeah. Or my parrotlets, they go through a biting phase. Sometimes I call it a vampire phase. And so it can be difficult because when your parrot bites you, even though you're taking good care of them, you love them, you want them to be bonded with you, it can be kind of hard to feel rejected that way and to have the physical pain of having been bitten. So look to see if it's something that you can handle. Some people put their finger out, they get bitten, they don't move their finger, and they aren't fazed. And at that point, the bird kind of feels like, well, that didn't do anything, and they are likely to back down. Not always. Other people, they get bitten once and they kind of shy away and don't know how to approach their bird. So find out whether your parrot is particularly nippy. Now, people will tell you that all parrots bite, and that's very true. But there are definitely species that are more prone and some species that are less prone to biting. And so that's what you want to find out about. Number 6. You want to see that the cage that you need to get for them with the minimum space requirement is going to be large enough to fit into whatever space in your home you're looking at adding a cage to. If your parrot spends a lot of time in their cage, try to get the biggest cage you can. Why? Because that is their living space. It's kind of like us being home and getting cabin fever. When you're home and your home is small, you do get it gets harder to be in that space. So if you can let your parrot out of their cage for many hours during the day, that's ideal. I have people write to me all the time and say that their parrot lives outside of the cage all day long. That's fantastic. But if you can't do something like that, make sure that the minimum cage requirement for the species you're looking at is something that you really have space for, or hopefully that you could do something even bigger. Number 7. Some parrots can be really independent, like the Asiatic parrots, like an Indian ringneck, or a mustache parakeet, or an eclectus. Those parrots aren't going to look to connect with you, to sit on your shoulder, to be with you in the same way. And so you want to find out what kind of independence that parrot that you're looking at has. Some parrots are more interdependent. In the wild, they are with their flock, they're with their one bonded mate all of the time. It doesn't mean that they won't bond with you, but it means that if you have a bird like that, like River here, my green-cheeked conure, that's a parrot that is interdependent. And for example, she has 3 flock mates, and yet she likes spending time with me. She loves spending time with me. If I even come near her cage, she wants to come out and just hang out. So there are interdependent parrots that are going to want more time and attention. There are in the middle parrots that they do fine spending some time alone. They do fine spending some time with you. They're happy to be with you. They want to be with you. And then there are more independent parrots, like Indian ringnecks, that are going to really want to go and spend some time doing their own thing. Now, if you work a lot, something like an independent parrot might be better for you, although you still want them to have a flock, because even the independent parrots, almost all belong to a flock in the wild. That means you still want another parrot, maybe another Indian ringneck around them, so that they have companionship. And when it's an independent parrot like that, you generally need for them to each have their own cage. Last but not least, number 8, the playfulness factor. Some parrots are kind of chill and mellow. The African greys I have had have been pretty chill and mellow. Do they like to come out and hang out? Yes. And sometimes they can be a little playful, but I wouldn't describe them as playful. My kaiques, on the other hand, it seems like all they want to do is be rough and tumble and play and explore. They are far more playful. You can say that smaller parrots are more active, which is a little different than playful, but active. And at that point, you want them to have plenty of space, either with a bigger cage or a play area in your home where they can come out and be active and interactive with you. So that's a really important thing to look at, because if you have a kayik and you kind of are the person who just kind of wants to sit and read a book, be quiet, maybe look at your social media online, a kayik may not be for you. On the other hand, if you're the kind of person who kind of likes to play a little with their parrot and rough and tumble a little, for example, my macaw Rosie, she sort of likes to be like, you know, a little roughhoused with. My husband, he goes and he kind of, you know, plays with her head, and she likes it. So ask and see what kind of playful factor they are, so that it matches, again, the amount of play or activity that you're looking for in a parrot. Hopefully these 8 areas to look at will give you some really good ways of looking to see what lifestyle you're after, and really match the lifestyle with the parrot that you're considering increasing, hopefully leading to the most blissful bond you can have with that parrot. Now, if you want some awesome parrot merch like my Love is Loud t-shirt, make sure to visit shop.parrotbliss.com and check down below for all of my links to my books, to my YouTube group, stuff like that. And then River and I will catch you in the next feathered video. Please be sure to give us one of these and post a comment or question. It helps our juice, and we'll catch you next time.